In this episode, we are going to talk about Hashimoto flares and what may trigger them and some things that you can do to manage a Hashimoto's flare. Hi, my name is Karen Thornton. I'm a registered nurse and fellow Hashimoto's warrior. So in this week's episode, episode 2, we are going to talk about Hashimoto's flares, what it is, some triggers that may be causing your flare, and how you can manage the symptoms. So what is a Hashimoto's flare? It usually stems from a stressor in your life, and it is when the symptoms that you might normally experience or may have noticed when you were diagnosed with Hashimoto's tends to increase in intensity. So things like muscle aches, constipation, headaches, your hair falling out, digestive issues, any of those things, especially fatigue or insomnia. So those are just some of the symptoms. You may experience some of them, you may experience all of them, and they can be where you have only a small amount of symptoms with a greater intensity, or you have a lot of symptoms at maybe a moderate intensity. It's very individual for each person. So let's talk about the triggers. What can trigger Hashimoto's flares? So the first thing we're going to talk about is diet. So as I discussed in episode 1, one of the things that I noticed was that I was having sensitivity to foods. 2 things that I have removed from my diet are gluten and dairy, and that is just because I knew that I was having a sensitivity to them, and removing them from my diet improved my symptoms. Some of the more common ones are gluten, dairy, and soy. So if you're noticing that you're eating something and it is causing you an increase in symptoms, it is something that you might want to track and monitor and see if you have a sensitivity to a particular food. The other thing that you want to look at is, are you eating a lot of processed foods? Because processed foods can actually cause an increase in symptoms as well. We want to make sure that we're eating nutrient-dense foods or whole foods so that our body is getting the nutrients that it needs. And if you eat too much processed foods, then you can actually trigger a flare in your body. So another trigger is stress. And this can be physical stress or emotional stress. Both can impact your body and can increase your risk for having a flare. Chronic stress can be where your body is producing a high level of cortisol and definitely increases your risk for a flare. Another trigger is infection. So bacterial and viral infections, they cause an autoimmune response in our body. So our body is already kind of in a state of crisis when we are sick. And so that response can stress our bodies and put us at an increased risk for a flare. Lack of sleep is also a trigger. While a couple of nights might not cause a flare, when you couple that with stress and or an infection, it may create the perfect storm to trigger a flare. And another trigger is hormone imbalance. When your hormones are out of balance, things like menopause, stress, or changes in your menstrual cycle can put you at an increased risk for a flare. So let's now talk about how to manage the symptoms once we recognize that we're in a flare. So the first thing that I recommend is checking out your diet. So you want to focus on anti-inflammatory foods, nutrient-dense foods that are going to help support your body while you're in this flare. Definitely avoid processed foods, foods that you might have sensitivities to while you're in a flare, because we want to heal the body and reduce those symptoms. A second thing is reducing your stress. So yes, we all have daily stress. Work might be crazy, or relationship-wise might be going crazy, or you're going through midlife crisis, whatever it might be. What I will say is you have to find some ways to reduce the stress. So for me, it's meditation, visualization, getting outside, taking a walk, and even breathing techniques to help reduce my stress. So doing these on a daily basis, or even as often as you're starting to feel that stress increase, can help to reduce your stress level and help reduce those symptoms. So another way to manage your symptoms is self-care. And this is really important for helping to reduce those symptoms as well. So things like massage Or you can be reading a book if that's something that helps you relax, going for a walk out in nature, whether it's in the woods or if you're like me and I love the beach. We live at the beach and I love to take a walk on the beach. It is so relaxing for me. Another piece of self-care is Epsom salt baths. So if you're not familiar with that, I do recommend that you check that out. I'll probably do a video about Epsom salt baths and the benefits of that. So it is really great for helping with muscle and joint aches. It can actually help to reduce some and relieve some of the anxiety and stress when you put Epsom salts in your bath. So these salts do have benefits for helping reduce some of your symptoms. So drinking plenty of water is also another way to manage your symptoms. So we not only want to hydrate our body, but we want to also flush out any toxins that might be in our bodies related to the flare that we are currently in. So lots of fluids to kind of help flush that through. It can also help with the dry hair and dry skin symptoms. Plenty of sleep is also a key thing when you're wanting to manage your symptoms. So when we sleep, our body is actually repairing our body during that time. So you want to make sure that we're getting enough sleep to allow it to do that. It also promotes thyroid hormone production. So we want to make sure that we're getting plenty of sleep so that it can do that production process. If you're struggling to sleep, I would recommend establishing a routine. Set a time that you want to go to bed each night. The other thing that I want to recommend is make sure you're reducing your caffeine intake, especially around bedtime, because you want to make sure that the caffeine is not impacting your sleep. Make sure that you're limiting your screen time right around bedtime, because all of that light triggers your body to say that it's time to wake up, or it looks like it's time to wake up with the blue light there. So make sure that you're limiting your screen time. Turn that off about an hour before you want to go to bed, and then make sure that you are going consistently to bed at that established routine time. And finally, gentle movement. So if you are someone who likes to work out, or maybe you're wanting to start working out, but you're in a flare. So things that I would recommend is making sure that you reduce the intensity. So I like to run, but I know that when I'm in a flare, I need to pull back on that intensity level and I need to do something that will help my body. So things that I do recommend are yoga, stretching, a gentle swim, a simple walk outside while you're in a flare, just to kind of, you still can do movement, but you want to make sure that you're supporting your body during this flare. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Like, share, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll be sharing more information about Hashimoto's. If you have any questions about flares or anything about Hashimoto's, make sure you drop a comment below and I'll come back around and answer any questions you might have. So have a great day, guys.